Hi, my name is Kourtney, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis on April 7th, 2017. I first started to notice my symptoms whenever I was sitting at work in my office, and I'm going to preface this with I've never been sick, I had never been to a hospital, nothing's ever just been wrong with me. I don't have any pre-existing anything, and I had just gotten back from a cruise, bachelorette party, and was sitting in my office and had moved my hand behind my hair behind my ear and noticed that my face felt numb. And then I crossed my leg and then noticed my leg felt numb. So, and I noticed my hand was feeling kind of tingly. So I thought it was a circulation thing. So I kind of took off my rings, took off my bracelets, and it didn't get any better. And I went home and realized that oh wow, this is a whole body thing, from the top of my head to the bottom of my foot, all of my left side. It was just numb. I couldn't feel anything. So the next morning when I woke up and it wasn't any better, that's when I went to the emergency room and got MRIs, got CAT scans, got basically every test you could possibly get, and long story short, diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. They find out you don't have any of these other things, then they realize, okay, you have lesions. So when I had my MRI, they found 3 lesions on my brain, and they noticed I had a vitamin D deficiency, and I did have to have a spinal tap, and in that spinal tap, they pull fluid from your spine, and people with MS have a certain percentage of a protein in their spinal fluid, and I had that. So I was diagnosed with MS. Okay, so what is it like living with MS? It's not great, but I guess it could be worse. A lot of things changed for me after I was diagnosed. That probably goes without saying. But before I had MS, I would run. I ran 5Ks all the time. I did Pure Bar. I loved doing cardio. I loved being outside, loved being in the sun. And then once I was diagnosed with MS, everything had to kind of change. And I had to kind of just adjust my life. Do use a cane, not every day, all the time. When I'm at the grocery store and stuff, I have a shopping cart, so I can use that. But if I didn't and I had to stand up and walk for a long period of time, using a cane would be necessary. I need to have assistance basically whenever I'm walking, or else I just have to stop. I do experience a lot of fatigue. The fatigue is the worst part for me. We live in a 2-story house, which we purchased about 4 months before I was diagnosed, so that was convenient. So really limiting the number of times I can walk up and down the stairs, and keeping count of that. And now we have a 1.5-year-old, and so being able to carry him, there he is, yeah. Being able to carry him, that's challenging, especially needing to go up and down the stairs because his room is upstairs. I know people talk about MS fatigue a lot, and it's really hard to explain what it means, because people say, oh, you're tired, just you can go to sleep early or something. But it's different. It's not that. MS fatigue is more you have a 20-pound weighted vest on you at all times. So everything you're doing takes a lot of extra effort. And for me, since when I was diagnosed, my whole left side is it hasn't fully come back. It just feels like there's an additional 20 pounds on my left side. So on my arm, on my leg, if I start walking too much, everything just starts getting very, very heavy, if that makes sense. I don't know another way of describing it. People say that it's like having the flu, but without the symptoms. I never had the flu, so I don't know what that's like. But that's what people say. Another way of describing it is, if you think about it, the charging cord you plug to charge your phone, and sometimes that little connection, the wires kind of come out, and so the only way your phone will start charging is if you put the wires in a very particular direction, and then your phone will actually start charging. That's how it is in my brain. So your body is like, your brain is telling your body to do certain things, but it's like, since the myelin sheath has been destroyed and the signals aren't firing the right way, so things are going like and like signaling and firing in different directions and not totally working. So whenever that happens, it's putting more stress on your brain, which makes it work harder, because and your symptoms get exacerbated. So heat and stress exacerbate your symptoms. So anytime I get really, really hot, or if I'm stressed out, all of my symptoms come back, basically. So that's when my arm gets heavier, my feeling in my face, it gets more tingly. And so that happens every single day, because I live in Florida and I do work a full-time job. I do have a treatment. So I used to take Kourtney, which was, I used to have to give myself shots 3 times a week. But now I take something called Ocrevus, which is every 6 months I will get a 6-hour infusion. So when I was first diagnosed, I had 3 lesions on my brain, and now I have 8. I think that, learning to deal with the symptoms has been my big challenge. The hardest part is that there isn't any treatment for the symptoms. So there isn't anything you can take that's like, this is going to help MS symptoms. You only have things that will keep it from getting worse. There isn't actually anything to help what's currently happened be better. It's a struggle whenever you've always been like so athletic, or like always been so active, and then all of a sudden like you literally can't do it anymore. For example, just kind of talking this much, I'm getting very winded. And walking around the house doing laundry, just doing simple everyday chores becomes a really big deal, and that's kind of a struggle. So I do have to like limit my time like on that. Just because someone looks healthy doesn't mean that they are. So I look from a outsider's perspective, I look normal. I look healthy. It doesn't necessarily look like anything's wrong with me, because it is an invisible disease, and there's a lot of invisible diseases out there. So I do have a handicap parking pass, because if I need to walk long distances, like I just can't sometimes. I physically cannot. And one particular day, I parked at Publix, grocery store, and I came out of the grocery store and there was a note on my car that said, "Handicap? Really? Come on." And I just couldn't believe that someone would do that. Like, yeah, like, because I was wearing like yoga pants and sneakers, this person decided to take it part of their day to write this note and put it on my car. I guess it's just that I want everyone to be aware that invisible diseases exist, and don't just like assume that someone that someone's like totally okay whenever they're probably like not, and giving everyone the benefit of the doubt, and then the world would be a better place.